Hello and welcome, episode 87 of Ring Talk. I'm Kevin Campion. I'm joined by the usual Steve Goodwin. I'm back by popular demand. So Steve, a new format for Ring Talk. There's going to be a slight changes to the way you do it in the day it goes out.
I mean, we think that it's... we used to do it early in the week, but obviously Martin couldn't record till the middle of the week. So we're still going to record some stuff with Martin, but it will always now go out on the Monday because we think that people are more interested in talking about the previous weekend's boxing on the Monday rather than when it's going out on the Thursday, Friday, and so therefore we're going to be out every single Monday. The Ring Talk will go out, so you'll all know now every Monday afternoon Ring Talk will be available. So. And
you're still going to have popular Martin. Martin's still going to do the Q&A with you. He's still going to do.
And you're going to be helping out as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the this part of it.
So the good thing is they get both of you.
Right. So okay, talk about the show at the weekend, the Sky show, Kell Brook show.
Yeah,
so I thought. What did you thought? I only see two of the fights, so I haven't.
I watched everything. So I've got two comments from the weekend. Dorian Dart shouldn't box anymore.
Okay. I didn't see that before, but not a great performance from what I hear.
Well, Dave Allen for 2 rounds just played around and sparred. Didn't even try to do anything. And Dorian actually won the second round. But as soon as David Allen launched any punches, it was all over. And I think when a boxer has 7 consecutive stoppage losses, they need to be.
Which is what Dorian Dart has now, isn't it? Seven KO victories in KO losses in a.
And one of them was a stall retirement. But let's be honest, Dorian Dart was a real hot prospect at one point, and I don't think it's good for boxing. Irrelevant to whether he passes medicals or not, that somebody that suffers that many consecutive losses and basically has lost all resistance to shots. And I remember Tom Dallas from Kent being exactly the same. And I think at this point, serious consideration should be raised as to whether he boxes again. Was it a farcical fight? Well, Dave Allen was just messing around. It wasn't really. He shouldn't have been on Sky TV a fight like that.
So what do you think about Dave Allen though? So obviously he was 20 pounds heavier than he was for the Price fight when he fought with David Price. Where do you see David Allen? It's always a bit of a stranger with David Allen. Obviously he's very, very popular. He's a really nice guy.
You know David Allen. We met him. He's a really nice guy. But
what I can't understand from Sky, it'd be interesting to see what their plan is with David Allen. Obviously he's come back, he's had the comeback fight.
Well, he sort of seen Boy gets beaten up by David Price, then he comes back again. I'd love to see David Allen win something, but I'm not sure he's got the motivation to do it either. I think David has a lot of issues, as is documented on his social media outside the ring. I don't know, I'm sort of...
It's always good to watch, I suppose. It's always good to see him in there. He always brings some form of entertainment, whether it's not in the ring.
He's just a lovely man. So I hope he retires from boxing with all his health intact, and
some money in his pocket,
because he's took some serious beatings.
He's tough, isn't he?
He's a tough man. And but I mean, again, putting that fight live on Sky, that's not going to hurt for boxing, that fight. So that was the. I'll start with a negative. I really normally like to start with positive. I'll start with that positive now. Terry Harper, I thought, was unbelievable. I thought her skill set of moving out of range was fantastic. Excellent. Her foot movement was brilliant. Steffi Ball's done an unbelievable job, and they deserve all the success. And she was still working in a chip shop 12 months ago, and now she's WBC world champion. And it just showed IBO. Yeah. But people can ridicule the IBO, but the IBO is what really got her. Well, two things got her. She won an IBO, and she sells a bundle of loads of tickets, which comes with without the 1,000 tickets. Without the ticket selling though, Kev, she'd still be fighting with Steffi at Doncaster Dome, and Steffi can only do so much. But with her being able to take a really big army of fans, then Eddie Hearn will think, well, hold on a minute, I've got a really good story here. I've got somebody who's going to bring bums to seats. I can make money out of it, right?
And she can fight.
And not only that, she can fight. But she wouldn't have had the TV exposure without having the backing. But what a story! And to be honest, her development. I watched her fight on Sky before. I think her development and the improvement is exceptional.
Only 9 fights, wasn't it, going into this fight? Only 9.
She didn't have no big amateur record or anything. So.
She's got everything in terms of what you look for in fighter, female or male. Like you say, she's got the ability. She's learned. She's come the way through. She's got a fan base, and I thought it was an excellent performance with her. I thought moving in and out of range. I thought she kept it very simple and.
That Wallstrom's not. I know she's 39, but she's no mug, and
she's been champion for 5 years. It was really, really impressive and a really good fight.
And I think good. She can go from strength to strength. I'm going to say something again. Kilbrook doesn't win another world title. It's controversial, but it's my opinion.
Yeah, it's hard to tell after one fight back, isn't it? One thing I would say about Kilbrook,
you're not going to get better at 34.
No, yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say is that I noticed this time around during that fight, it looked like he got hurt to the body a couple of times.
Yeah, correct.
And I've never really noticed that about Kel. His timing coming after a couple of rounds, which was expected, did the job with thing. It'd be interesting. Liam Smith's a really good fight. I like that fight.
I think Liam Smith is fine.
I think Liam Smith beats him though. But
do you?
Yeah, potentially. I think
you've got. I think with the fight you have two fighters that are both declining, fighting each other at the same time. So I think in reality it's a good fight to make. And one of them gets a crack at world title. And much as I would like them, so there's not some of any animosity.
No.
Much as I would like them to win a world title, either one, I don't think either are capable of winning a world title. I actually thought that Kel. I know he threw a few clusters, but I thought generally his speed wasn't as sharp. And I know he's been out of the ring for so many months, but when you've lived the life that he's lived outside the ring, that's also going to catch up with you. So I thought he was fighting a club fighter from America who had a flashy record from beating nobodies. It made him look good. But
which is the perfect thing back if you're trying to do
perfect matching by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. But honestly, I don't think he wins a world title. I hope I'm wrong,
sure,
because sometimes you like to be proved wrong. But I wasn't overly impressed. Kid Galahad, it is what it is. He's never gonna be a box office sensation, and he's good at what he does. He's effective. He's a bit dirty at times.
I didn't see that fight. So
a bit dirty at times, but But again, he's talented. But he's never going to be the commercial success that people need to be if they're going to make really big money out of boxing. But so overall on the card, it didn't really.
It was nice to sit back on Sky though, that's one thing I would say. It was nice to see boxing back on Sky.
Yeah, for sure, but there's some better cards on both Sky and BT coming up. So I think it was a warm-up card, and it was good to watch a bit of boxing on a Saturday night, but it wasn't the greatest night of boxing. Take out Terry Harper, of course.
Sure, that was a great fight. So talking about obviously fights coming up, obviously big fights coming up. They announced on the Matchroom show Josh Kelly versus David Avanesyan.
It's a great fight, isn't it?
It's a wicked fight. It is a really, really, really good fight.
Who'd you fancy?
Do you know what? I'm undecided because Avanesyan is underrated, and obviously with Cole Groove's been Cole Groove's a long time, really good fighter, but then I think Josh Kelly is a huge talent, and I think the last couple Kelly perhaps hasn't shown as much as he has done beforehand, but I do also think that Kelly's the type of person that will go to the level of the opponent. If he's fighting someone below him, I think he drops to their level rather than think, at times anyway. It's a wicked fight. It's a really
we're talking about good fights, and it's a standard Saturday fight night, the same as we just watched, but different level of fight to what we just saw at the weekend.
Who are you picking for that?
I'll lean towards Avanesyan.
Yes,
but that's because I think that Avanesyan is proven.
Yeah.
He goes into opponents' backyards and beats them. I think Josh Kelly has shown some vulnerabilities, so I'll go with the experience of Avanesyan, but not with massive conviction.
It's a good fight. That's what when you can't tell one way or the other is. That's when
you know you've got a good fight.
Yeah. I'm interested to see that. Whyte Povetkin was announced. I missed that.
That's where the Eddie's announcement mismatch.
As in Whyte's in a hot rain form.
Povetkin lost to Michael Hunter.
He drew, didn't he?
But he really lost. Yeah. I thought he lost the fight.
He's only won one of the last three, isn't he, Povetkin?
David Price wobbled him.
Yeah. But David Price can punch, but and Povetkin is 40 as well, isn't he? So
it's just a body.
It'll go a few rounds, won't it? Because Povetkin's tough.
Just a body.
And
Dylan is. I mean, I'd like to have seen a better opponent. But on the other hand, you see when he's in the position he's in and he's just hanging on, getting a massive fight, why take any risks? And of course it'd be marketed that it's a risk, but it's not. But it's not a risk.
So Dylan White, you think obviously comfortable for that?
It's a mismatch.
And then obviously the other heavyweight fight's been announced. Dubois, Joe Joyce.
Now, 2 of those 3 fights I love. I think that is just a great fight. And I know people are saying we're going on kicking off about being pay-per-view. I'd pay for that fight.
Sure. Yeah,
because for me, you know, it might not be for thing, but for me, that's a fight that you've got 2 up-and-coming British heavyweights who are British level at the moment but could go on to world level, and I think it's an amazing fight. I hope they build a good undercard around it.
What I hope is, the British, the outside, the casual fans, I hate to use that term, but I hope they get behind that fight, because Danny Dubois and Joe Joyce are not the most charismatic in front of the camera.
Does it sell out the O2? I don't think so.
I don't know. I think people would be intrigued by it.
I mean, I love it, so I think it's a brilliant fight.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure it sells out the O2.
I hope that the British public get behind it. I hope because it is a quality fight, and it won't get perhaps the interest it may do, because obviously Dubois and Joyce aren't the most charismatic. But I hope, you know, the boxing fans and the boxing people will encourage enough people to get, because it's a really great fight. And I don't know which way it goes.
I mean, I looked at the odds.
Yeah.
Have you seen the odds?
No.
I was really surprised at the odds.
Who's the favourite?
But it's quite a short price for what they've made. 3-1 on Dubois.
Have they?
You could get nearly 3-1 against on Joe Joyce. Now I think Dubois wins. I think Dubois wins, right? But
why do you think he wins?
I think that Joe Joyce has always been vulnerable to taking a shot. I know that
I think he's got a great chin.
Look at him as an amateur. When he gets caught, has he ever been in with a puncher? But then when you look at the amateur record of Daniel Dubois, it's nothing special. Sure. He lost plenty of fights. So you've also got the fact that if Joe Joyce can take the Dubois power, which he may be able to, then he's relentless going
he's
forward.
Not quick, but he's solid. He's not. Joe Joyce isn't the biggest one punch. Like the power looking at one punch knockout, you'd probably say Dubois is the bigger one. Had much earlier stoppages.
But as an amateur, Joe got caught a bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I would say it's Dubois early, Joyce late.
Yeah, I think it could be right. The only thing I don't necessarily say about Joyce is he's changed trainers again. He's not with Adam Booth anymore. The sound of it announced. He's at what is now the 4th or 5th.
Now then you've got to look at.
It's interesting that
it's not interesting.
It is interesting to find out why. But obviously he had Hayes coach first of all. He was with Hay at the beginning, so he had Salas at the beginning. Then obviously changed to Sanchez, and then obviously he's gone to Booth. And now obviously we don't know where.
Let's be honest. You know, and I know, changing trainers that often is not the way forward. And Adam Booth is probably, in my opinion, the best trainer out there. I think Adam Booth is the best trainer that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I know we're going to talk about the very famous American, but the calmness in the corner, the strategies, you know, he's everything is to. I think Adam Booth is the best. I don't know why he's left him, but when a boxer keeps leaving trainers and there keeps being alleged fallouts at times, you've got to turn around and ask what the hell is going on with the whole setup for that to happen. And if he does, and I don't think that helps him. He wants to train in America. Well, if he really wanted to train in America, why did he set up with Salas? Why did he go to Adam Booth? If he really wanted America, he'd have been in America. He was in America, he left America to come back to Adam Booth. Now he wants to be in America again. It doesn't ring true. So there's definitely, I don't believe, there's not harmony in everything that's going on. It can't be. No. And from that point of view, I think it'll all unravel. And I think if he gets beat, you'll probably find out what's really gone on.
Yeah. Interesting fight. Great fight, though. Great fight. But
for the boxing purist, I just hope Frank builds a really good. I hope we don't have that as the top of the bill with a shit undercard. Because if you put a really good undercard on that, then I'm not even talking about having to have. I'm just talking about not putting blah blah in with the Mexican road sweeper for a WBA Intercontinental. Just don't want those crappy fights. Just get some proper fights on.
Yeah. Okay, so preview this weekend's event. So you've only got a 4 or 6 round show. Your call.
That's all it is. Yeah, I mean, February's a difficult time for boxing. because if you take boxers onto small halls, they do struggle to sell this time of year. It's a much more difficult selling period for them. I mean, if you're getting a boxer on a big Sky show, people will go out, but people aren't going to go out for average shows. So I would imagine that they may be struggling with the ticket numbers on Saturday. But full credit for him for Mo to put a show on in February. We certainly wouldn't put a show on in February.
And that's because obviously people find it hard. The boxing public predominantly just obviously skim from Christmas, and you need something really big to motivate them generally.
In February, and I don't. Yeah, so I hope he doesn't lose too much money. But it's the only thing that's on this weekend. But the reason it's on is for a reason. Is that most people are avoiding putting their shows on. And
obviously the season starts then after that. Weekends after that starts. Correct. Yeah. New signings. So you've announced a few this week.
Had 3 this week. Let's go from Conor Hinds, 2-0. Who's training with Sam Mullins. He's going to be coming out on the 14th of March and having his first fight under the Goodwin management banner.
He fought on a show last time, didn't he?
It was with Adam Martin. Adam. There was an interesting story behind that. Adam Martin is a really good guy, good manager. Had him, and Conor, after fighting on our show, said, "I don't want to fight on anybody else's shows. The shows are much more professional. They run better." So Adam said, "Well, being honest with you, if you really want to fight on any show Steve's involved with, you better be managed by him, because you're going to get much better chance of being looked after." So that's why he comes. So Adam rang him up and said, "Would you take Conor?" So that was where that came from. So we've got to build him, get some momentum going.
He's got to fight regulars. He's got to get some momentum now as well. So been a pro for a little while, just now needs to get.
I'm hoping to get minimum 4 fights in this year and be moving towards title, because at super middleweight you can move at the end of the year, be ready to move into titles. We signed Aggie Barbier, the former French amateur, who's relocated to the UK. She's
another female fighter joined the ranks. So you got a few now. So
I love
a few.
I mean, we had obviously Nicola Adams under our banner when she won the world title. We had Sam Smith who fought for the Commonwealth and European titles. So with women, as Steffi has shown with Terry Harper, if you build everything, there is nothing to stop you in a 3-year period knocking on the door for a world title.
You've got St. Gabriel, you've got and Neil Massey obviously fought recently as well.
Yeah, so, I love it. Female boxing is something that I'm really happy to work with, and it's the hardest bit, as you know, is getting opponents.
Sure, and that's purely because the talent pool isn't there in terms of there isn't so many numbers in turnover. What you tend to find in female boxing at the moment, my experience is you have people that are this level and people at this level. There's not much in between, so you tend to go from someone that's not very good to someone that can be very good. But that will change all the time. Obviously, there's more females turning pro all the time, and
we're happy to work with them. And I know the route, through. And Steffi Ball and myself are the 2 smaller promoters that have had, or smaller promoter managers that have now had world female champions. So we know what to do, and if any of the females are good enough, we'll guide them. And I'm excited about her. She's been working with Ryan Katsu. It's his first pro fighter who's going for a trainer's license. So it's exciting times ahead, and she's got a lot of personality. I think that people will get behind her, and I think she's going to build up a really good fan base, as well as and she's got the skill set, so I'm very excited.
And although you say she's a French amateur and French born, but she's very articulate, speaks fantastic English, better English than me and you, which means she appeal to the public a bit more, and it should be interesting to go through. Then obviously you've got another signing that's coming out, which will be out by the time this goes through. We haven't released it yet, but it'll be going
2019 ABA champion Mark Bridger, so we're looking forward to him. He's going to be trained by John Cole down in Kent. Very talented young man. We're going to be pushing quicker with him because he's got the amateur pedigree. So we'd hope within 2 years to be going for titles. And Mark's going to be debuting in May. So exciting times ahead, and a really good talent. And all 3 of those boxers that we've signed this week are all exceptionally and extremely talented. So, and we've just got to help them fulfil their dreams, and that's what it's all about.
Right, and that starts for Mark in May, isn't it? Hopefully, obviously after the thing. So, okay, so that's the 3 new signings. Number 6 on your agenda, Steve, is the Trevorism. So So let's see what
this comes to you. So
yeah, this comes to me. Yeah,
you don't know what it is, do you? This one is not that bad from Trevor.
Okay.
This is actually sort of half sensible.
Okay.
I believe there should be female referees, and boxing authorities should be actively recruiting them.
I think they probably are, is the answer. And I don't know if there is female women's referees. I know there are amateurs. In the pros, there's got to be. I'm not sure.
We haven't seen a UK judge. Not even a judge.
No, not a judge. I always think it should be, this is going to be slightly controversial, but not. It should always be about competency rather than it just being a female because it needs to be a female. If a male or female go for a referee's job or a judge's job, or however they go through the process to become that, it doesn't make any difference to me. The same as referees in football and assistant referees in football. For me, it should always be down to competency. I don't think it should be right, it's female, so we have to have female referees. Oh, it's males, it has to be male referees. I always think it's, if someone is competent to do the job, give them the job.
Do you think there's nobody interested in doing it, or do you think it's because traditionally it's quite a sexist sport?
I don't think. What I think tends to fight. If you look at referees and judges now, a lot of them are former fighters, former pro fighters that have then gone on to be referees. With the females, you haven't had that before. So this is relatively new. So you haven't had the fighters. So if you look at the likes of Katie Taylor, if you look at the likes of obviously Terry Harper, they may go on to be referees, managers, judges, and then once their career finishes, the same as what happened in that. I just think they're behind in times of they just haven't gone through that process yet, and that's why I think there's less of them. But yeah, it will happen, and whether they should be actively seeking, I think they should just be actively seeking more referees and judges anyway.
We know they're struggling, aren't they?
No, they're struggling, and some are suspect in terms of competency. So yeah, so I think they should be recruiting referees and judges, which I think they probably are. Thing is, who wants to be a referee or a judge? That's another thing as well.
Do you want to do it?
It's like being a referee at football, isn't it? Who wants to be?
But it's worse there, because at football they might shout you from the line, and then two security guards drag you off. Right there, you're standing in the corner, getting abuse from the corners and the fans.
So it's a difficult situation. So I do think they need to recruit more judges and referees. Whether it has to be specifically females, I don't know. I just think it should be, if a female comes up and she's competent and she can ref and she can judge, yeah, no problem. What's your opinion?
No, I think it's fair. I think that's fair. I think it does come down to the fact that nobody wants to do it, and you have to be thick-skinned to be a referee.
Yeah.
And maybe for a female, it's not going to appeal that much.
Maybe. I think that there will be some that will want to do it for sure, and I think it's only a matter of time. I just think we're relatively early in that process. That's my opinion. But that's actually pretty sensible for Trevor. I don't know what's happened. He must have come off the medication. Hi, Trev.
Don't worry, we've got a couple more. He's given me the aren't so sensible.
So that's it for Trevorism. So next on your list is just a quick focus. So Adrian Martin this week.
Yeah, Adrian Martin, who was interviewed here last week, wasn't he?
He was.
And while he was up here last week, he tried to go and beat the Iceman. The Iceman who leads. Thinking what a little funny fact about Mr. Sinfield, who leads a quickfire quiz. Is he better on the quickfire quiz, or is he better with the amount of women he's got after him at the moment? Because
people don't know this about the Iceman, do they?
No, he is the babe magnet of Leighton Buzzard, isn't he?
Somehow. I don't know how.
If you look
that is the biggest mystery.
Women flock to this man. I've never seen anything like it in the world. Maybe it's his boxing knowledge. That's what I can say. But let's move on and see whether Adrian can overturn Mr. Sinfield at top of the Quickfire Quiz. Welcome to this week's edition of the Quickfire Quiz. We're joined by English title contender Adrian Martin, who fights Sean Robinson on the 21st in an eliminator for the super welterweight English title. He's going to see whether he can be off the bottom of the leaderboard. Linus Udofia sitting at the bottom with 0. Still sitting at the top is the Iceman Paul Sinfield with 5. So we're going to see how near to the top Adrian can be. We're going to wait to get the go ahead, and then it will be away we go. 1 minute.
Ready and go.
How many rounds did Anthony Joshua Dylan White go?
7.
Correct. Who did Dylan White defeat to win the British heavyweight title?
Chisora.
No, Ian Lewison. What nationality is Manny Pacquiao?
Filipino.
Correct. Acolia's had 14 fights. How many stoppages?
I should know this. He's my mate. 11.
Correct. Which title does female boxer Terry Harper hold?
WBC or not? No, I don't know.
IBO. Which British boxer medalled at lightweight in the 2004 Olympics?
2004. Lightweight. Martin Wood.
Amir Khan.
Oh,
Who was the first licensed UK female boxer?
Nicola Adams.
Jane Couch.
Oh.
In which city in 2000?
Time.
Damn.
Done well.
3.
3 points. You're second in the leaderboard.
Second in the leaderboards. I don't know why I thought Nicola Adams. She was the first Olympic gold medalist. She wasn't the first pro boxer.
Jane Couch was the pioneer of female boxing. Deserves a lot of credit for it.
Yeah.
Cheers, Adrian. Thank you very much. And he's done all right.
So, did all right, Adrian?
Not bad at all. He done all right. So you guys out there that are scared to come on, that's a good score, and we want to see more of you come on. This quickfire quiz is open to everybody. You can even just be somebody watching on the
fighters, coaches,
fans. Anybody's welcome to come and have a go, and just see if you can go up the leaderboard. And listen, if the Iceman can do it, anybody can do it. That's what I say.
Okay, Steve. So that brings our part of this section. Obviously, you've got the next week we'll be starting adding the Q&A with Martin's back and talking about the next thing coming on.
Next week we've got the MTK show at your call. We've got the Fury Wilder to talk about, and we'll be talking about more additional fights that we're working on for our fighters as well. So next week.
Okay, so join us next week for episode 88. But yeah, it brings the end to 87. And if you haven't done already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media pages, and we'll see you again soon.
Cheers.